Hello, everybody. My name is Tawana Houston, and I wanted to do this quick video. Well, I say it's going to be a quick video, but I'm normally pretty long-winded, so we'll see what happens. How did this come about? This weekend, my family went out of town. My oldest child, which is 25 years old, works a lot, so I've pretty much just been here by myself. I was excited about being here by myself because I just needed this time. What I've been doing is just cleaning. I wanted to be able to just clean, y'all. When I'm cleaning, I can't stand it when people be walking in and out and dirtying up the kitchen. I just cleaned the kitchen. It annoys me. So I just been cleaning and self-reflecting. So earlier today, I was sitting on that couch over there and I was on YouTube and I just put in there Gemini. I was just curious to see what people say about Geminis. And I was watching all these videos. I was like, wow, interesting. So I said, why not? Let me just go ahead and create a video and title it Understanding the Gemini. Now, my birthday is June 15th. I just celebrated a birthday last month. Happy belated birthday to me. My father is a Gemini. His birthday is June 16th. Mine is June 15th. So a day apart, which is exciting. So I can give you the perspective, a point of view of the woman Gemini versus the male Gemini. I won't talk much about the male, but I can, shed a little light on it. I am nervous, so I took some notes here so I can kind of stay focused. Again, I do not do videos, but why not? Okay, so understanding the Gemini. First of all, y'all better not try to come for me, okay? When, I don't care where I'm at, whatever video I'm on, somebody got something negative to say about Gemini. Geminis, I want to say, is the most misunderstood zodiac sign of them all. I didn't want to say the word hated because it's crazy. People love Geminis, but then they hate the Geminis. So I want to break that down because I get it, but I don't get it. Right? It just depends on where you are in that Gemini's life and whether they choose to let you in. So I understand the different perspectives when you're dealing with your point of view when you're dealing with Geminis, but I'm just going to share, I'm just going to share me with you all. Right? It may not be the same for everyone. I will also like to add that I'm not all into astrology and zodiac signs and things of that nature. It wasn't until this past year that I've been a little more into it because I was reading into different signs, but I don't believe that everyone belongs in this one bubble. So to everyone that's a zodiac, the particular zodiac sign will act a certain way. I do believe that we are products of our environment and that people are just different. Now, there are certain things about each sign that may be truthful. So I will just talk about those surface level type of things. But please understand that how a person was raised, where they grew up, what they experienced, what they saw, things of that nature will impact who they are as a person. So we can't put everybody under this same category. Like, oh my God, I don't date Geminis. Oh my God, I don't date Libras and so on. We can't do that, y'all. It just doesn't make sense, right? But anyway, understanding the Gemini. So I took a lot of notes. I don't even really know where I want to start. But first thing I guess I can start is personality traits. If you know me personally, let me know in the comments a little bit about my personality. It's easy for me to talk about myself, but again, I am a lifelong learner, which I'll talk about it a little more in a moment. But I just love to learn. I love to hear what people think about me, how they see me, whether they're wrong or whether they're right. I still like to hear those things. So just let me know in the chat, in the comments, if you know me, if any of this seems accurate to you. So I just been sitting here writing. So, okay, so one of the main personality traits of a Gemini, and again, I'm referring to myself as a female Gemini. This may not be you, but one of the main ones is being very intellectual. I am a lifelong learner, like I just talked about a moment ago. I love education. I thrive in environments where I can learn. And believe it or not, some people assume that people like that don't like to be led. They don't like to be in environments where they don't have control. And that's not the case. For me, I love to be around people that I can learn from. If you can't bring any value to me intellectually, I just completely shut down, right? So I'm always want to be one step ahead. I never want to, guys, technology is changing all the time. I'm that one that's going to learn this new trend. I'm going to learn this technology because I want to make sure that my kids learn it. There's been too many situations where parents don't take the time to elevate themselves and their children get left behind because their parents don't understand it, right? So, and I don't want to go too far down that path, but I'm a very intellectual person. I'm always learning. I'm always reading. I'm always listening to videos, but I am protective of who I learn from. And if I feel like you're someone I can learn from, you'll notice that I get very close to you, right? Because my goal is to transfer value. So I want to pour into you. And that's another reason too. I don't want to go too deep into this, but that is another reason why I'm such an intellectual person, is because I want to learn from others, but I also want to give them value as well, right? It's almost like a barter system intellectually. The other thing is I'm very curious. Very curious. I mean, that goes without explaining any further. Geminis are very curious people. They do not like to be in situations where they don't know things. Like if they see something, like, I'm curious about that. How does that operate like that? Like I see things different. Like when I'm watching a movie and I see, I get on my husband's nerve with this. I talk through movies all the time. But if I see a certain type of car, and if I'll be like, look, that's how they paid for this movie. That's how they did that. And next thing you know, I'm on my phone researching like how do movies fund themselves. And that's how I learned that a lot of it comes from, if you pay attention to the movies and the different brandings, you'll see Apple, you'll see HP, you'll see I'm just curious about everything. I just use that as an example, probably a boring example, but I'm a very curious person in every aspect of my life, y'all. Not just what the example I gave you, but I'm curious about everything. I will try everything if it makes sense. Adaptable. I'm a very adaptable person. I consider myself a chameleon when I'm in a room. Now, I am an introverted person, but I'm a very social person. I am a social butterfly. But when I say introverted, it's when I enter a room, the goal isn't for you to know that I'm there. I come into the room to assess the room. So give me about a good 5 minutes. I'm a great listener. I pay attention. I'm aware of my surroundings. So when I come into that room, I'm trying to figure out everybody in that room. Who is that person that I need to go to? Who do I need to meet? Who do I need to talk to? Let me know what type of room I'm in so I can fit in that room, because I do not like to stand out. That's the key there. So I want to say the reason why I'm so adaptable in a space is because I don't want to stand out in that room. I like to be behind the scene. I want you to feel me, but not hear me, if that makes sense. Like I don't have to be loud. I don't have to be dancing all over the place and cutting a fool. I want you to know I'm there because I'm bringing value to you, but not there because I just feel like I have to be loud type of thing. So yes, I am very adaptable. You can put me in any environment. If I have heads up, it's great because I can prepare to be in that environment. I'll probably ask you a million questions, which will probably get on your nerves. And that's one thing. Geminis are very intellectual. They're very curious. Like I talked about, they're going to ask you a million questions. So if you invite them somewhere, you're like, okay, what's the dress code? What does the room look like? What the parking lot look like? Okay, what type of music they normally play? Blah, 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 blah. They're going to ask you a million questions. And that's only because they're trying to adapt. They don't want to stand out. Even my attire, you all, I'm so low key with my attire. I'm just never been a fashion person. I like clothes that just kind of fit my curves. I do like to show my shape, but I'm a very reserved person. And it's because I don't want to stand out in a room. Shoot. I almost said this the wrong way, but I'm a very shapely person. So I'm already going to stand out when I walk in the room. So the last thing I want to do is have, be too exposed, if that makes sense. So I don't like to stand out too much in a room. Social, I kind of talked about it already. I am a social butterfly. People naturally gravitate to me because I'm so good at reading people. I can make anybody feel comfortable. I like to joke. I like to have fun. I am a kid at heart. I'm a 2-year-old, y'all, to the point where some people may consider me immature. I'm just a very youthful person. I'm very energetic. I'm very social, even though I'm introverted. The introvert side of me only comes out when I don't know you. So, and it's because I need to figure out who you are first. I'm very safeguarded, and I'm gonna talk about that a little more in a moment. But yeah, I already taught storytellers. I'm a great storyteller. But yeah, like I'm the type of person when you come home, I want to know how your day went. Like, how was your day? What could have been better? How are you feeling? What do you want to eat today based on your mood? I may hit you up in the middle of the day. I'm just a very caring person, naturally. It's kind of weird. I can see why people confuse with Gemini, because you're like, it's a side of you that's very reserved, but also very social. So it could be confusing. I'm going to talk about the twins in a moment. It just depends on which one that you meet. But there's a particular one you're going to meet first. And if you're lucky, you'll meet the second person. But most people never get the opportunity to meet the second twin. And I'll explain that in a minute. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So let's talk about the twin a little bit, and then I'll get into the rest of this. So the twin, for starters, Gemini is an air sign. And I don't know how to explain all of that because I'm not into all of that. But I do know it's the third sign within the zodiac. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the comments. But I believe it's the third zodiac sign. It starts at May 21st and ends, I think, on June 20th, somewhere in there. And I'm June 15th, and my dad is June 16th, as I shared with y'all earlier. Now, when it comes to the twins, so the first person you meet, at least when you meet me, you are meeting the guarded person. You are meeting the surface level of Tawana. Geminis are very protective of their personal space. They are fearful of rejection. They are fearful of being hurt. They do not lead with their heart, right? On the other hand, they're very caring people. They are going to make sure they're not inappropriate or rude or things like that. But it's very difficult to bring that wall down for Gemini. So the first twin that you meet is very direct, very standoffish. Man, work their butt off now. You're going to want to have that Gemini in your circle because they have talents and skill sets that would probably take you hiring 5 to 6 people to get this person, right? Because they learn so much and they have so many hobbies and they have so many traits, and they just love learning. They love projects. So they are always very valuable to you, almost always. And again, I'm just speaking for myself. Again, I'm not saying this is every Gemini. Everybody's situation is different. But I want to say one of the reasons why that first twin you meet has that wall up is because of their fears of being hurt, their fears of being rejected, their fears of you just coming off the wrong way. And they don't want to bring you into their personal space. You'll notice that Gemini circles are very small. Most of Geminis have trust issues. They have commitment issues. And when I say commitment issues, not to go too far down relationship lane, but I've only had 2 relationships, you all. And the man I ended up marrying, which is my husband, I wasn't interested in really getting married or him even locking me down. I just had this mindset as a young woman that I didn't want to be committed to, rush to get married or anything like that. I gotta be careful about where I want to say this the wrong way. But I just have to trust you and feel comfortable with you and know that you can lead me and know that I can bring that guard down and not have to bring it back up. That's what it is with the Gemini woman. you don't want to have to be, bringing your guard up and down like a garage door, right? Because your guard is up because you want to handle every aspect of your life, your finances, your relationships, everything, your work life. That's what that guard is up for. So that first level of the Gemini that you meet, you'll hear people say, oh, she's so standoffish. Oh my gosh, she don't talk. She don't never want to go nowhere, blah, blah, blah. Even when I go out, you're like, I love to dance. I love to shoot pool. That's how I met my husband, shooting pool. I love to do all those things. But even with doing that, I'm still the girl that to herself when she's out. I'll be dancing on that floor. It'd just be me and my husband. It'd be me and my sister. I'm not dancing with other people at the club. I stand out like a sore thumb out here, but I be in a zone. I don't know anybody else that's in that room other than the person that I'm focused on right then and there. So even though I may, do extroverted activities, I'm still an introvert in that environment, if that makes sense, because I love to have fun. And hopefully I won't forget, I'm gonna make a note really quick, because I want to talk about the public versus the home version of me, of the Gemini, because I don't know if this applies to everybody. It's just my scenario. Okay, so that's the first twin. Surface level, that's who you're gonna get. Very nice, and basically what they want you to see. If you can have a conversation with a Gemini. Geminis love to communicate, and I should have had that as one of my personality traits. Addicted to communication. Now, there's different forms of communication. It's body language, right? It's, of course, communicating with your mouth. It could be texting. It could be emailing, listening, gestures. Because you were paying attention, you might have done something nice for that person. Like the Gemini is all about communication. They are like addicted to it. So if you are a person that of value to them, like you love to have conversations, you love to listen to them, and you can actually join in on the conversation, like be a part of the conversation, add value to the conversation, not just sit there, and not say anything. Oh my gosh, you're going to get that Gemini. What's the term they say Geminis? Well, at least for me, I'm a sapiosexual person. That's just me. I'm a very intellectual person. It starts here for me. That's just me. I don't know if that applies to every Gemini. I know my father is a sapiosexual as well. My father, I don't know if I'm like this because he's like this or whether it's a Gemini thing. I don't know. But we're both very creative people. We both got multiple lanes that we're in. We both love to learn. My dad builds computers from scratch, bare bone computers from scratch. I built them. I went to school for computer programming. It's just, our minds are like project management. We see everything as projects type of thing. So I feel like I'm babbling now. Let me try to get back on focus. So, if you are someone that can stimulate the mind of a Gemini, then you will probably meet the other twin. The other twin is very soft. The guard is brought down. They're more personal. They will share more with you. They will probably allow you to do projects with them, because you'll notice that most Geminis are they're like a one-man show. They kind of do things on their own, and they normally can handle it because they're so talented in so many different areas. So they don't need to hire to do a lot of things. They work themselves to death, which stresses them out. But they have issues with trusting. Trust me, how you do one thing is how you do everything. That flows through your business, that flows through your relationships, it flows in everything. That's the downside of dealing with a Gemini. They try to do everything themselves. The good side is, if you can get one that you can work with business-wise, it will take your business and things to the next level. Because even when you hire them to do, let's say you hired a Gemini just to be a secretary, they're not just going to be a secretary. If they see problems in your business, if they see things that you need to work on, they're going to bring it to your attention. Same thing. I work for Wells Fargo. For you guys I mean, for many years, I worked for them. I implemented so many processes for them. I did. So that's what they always told me, Tawana, we love you because you are always trying to make us better. Right. So it's not just an entrepreneurship thing. It's just how they do things. It's just how Geminis do things. It's how women Geminis do it, male Geminis do it. I don't know if they all do this. I'm just speaking based on me. But the downside is if you're trying to get closer to a Gemini, you have to meet them here. Like this stuff I talked about, the intellectual, if you can't have a conversation with them, if you can't bring them value. See, this is the thing. It's not about them just talking. You know, you have some signs like Leos. My brother's a Leo. They just like to talk. They want you to know how smart they are. They just love to talk, right? It's all about them. They love being a center of attention. For Gemini, they're trying to learn from you. They are lifelong learners. They love to be educated. So it's not just about them talking, it's about them learning from you as well. So if you can't have a deep, beyond the surface level conversation with them, then you're probably never going to meet the soft side of that Gemini. You're always going to say, I hate Geminis. Oh, they this, they that way. They two-faced, they blah, blah, blah. You're always going to say that. It's not that they're two-faced. It's not that they're too hardcore. It's just that you don't have the personality traits that match with them. That's all. You're not able to meet them where they are, and they're not willing to go backwards. No, let me take that back because y'all gonna eat me up in the comments. I'm not saying that. I don't mean going backwards. What I mean is if they are learners, they want to know that you're somebody they can learn from outside of what they already know, for lack of better words. So I'm gonna get off of that. What else? So those are the two. So that's why you refer to them as twins. You got the guarded Gemini, and then you have the more softer one that will open up into you. And then I kind of got a section on here. Like if you're crushing on a Gemini, or how you know a Gemini is crushing on you, I kind of got that out here too. So I'm trying to touch on everything without this being too long. Okay, so I talked about Geminis. They're very talented. They can juggle a million things. They have a lot of hobbies, but you'll notice that they have a lot of hobbies that they don't make money from. Like for example, I do t-shirts. I do sublimation. I do so much, y'all. I do a lot of. I love to paint. I do floors. I do a lot of things because I like to always be in my creative space. It's when I can think. I thrive in my creative space. So it's not about making money off of it, but I always can make money off of it, if that makes sense. So it's always that trick in my bag that will bring me more income, but I don't need to pull out that trick. I can use it to help me thrive mentally, if that makes sense. But so Geminis have a lot of hobbies that they may not make money from, but they are able to maybe help you. Maybe it's something that you need. And because you're close enough to them, they're able to help you get that done. But again, you have to meet that other Gemini to do it, for that to happen. Okay, what else? I put a note on here a moment ago, the public version versus the home version. It kind of ties into what we just talked about, the Gemini twin, the first twin that you meet, the surface level one versus the more softer one. Again, when I'm in public, I love to smile, y'all. I'm always going to appear to be this very, very bubbly, nice person because I am. I love to smile. I love to connect with people. It almost comes off as flirting, but it's not. I treat everybody like that. So if I'm smiling and stuff like that, please don't think Tawana likes you. That ain't the case. When I say likes you, I mean like flirting with you. I just believe in respecting everybody. So if I'm walking around, I'm smiling. How are you doing? I let the ladies know how beautiful they look. I let the men know, hi, I love your shirt. I don't compliment men too much because they take it the wrong way. But I'm always complimenting the ladies. That's just second nature to me. It's going to happen. I always do that. So that's surface level, right? But at home, y'all, that is the true social butterfly. You will never see me dance in public, nowhere. Like if I'm at a club or something with people I know, like, and trust, yeah. But you'll never just see me, for example, I'm always at New Black Wall Street Market in Stonecrest, Georgia. You'll never see me up there dancing up in there. People try to do it all the time. They play Tawana dance, have a good time. No, I'm not. Right? You're certain things, certain behaviors you're not going to see outside of my home. Like I cut a fool at the home. I love to sing. I can sing. I love to sing. I do karaoke at home all day, but you will not get me to do karaoke outside of the house. You won't get me to sing outside of the house. It's just the raw version, the real version of Tawana, which is that Gemini 2, you normally don't meet unless you're at the house with her or you're married to her, like my husband, or, you know, you just a good friend, like my best friend, Tanisha. But other than that, you won't know that side of them. So get to know the Gemini. And if you just take the time to pause to get to know them, and if you understand how they are, then 9 times out of 10, you'll meet that version of them. But if it's too much work to get to know that Gemini, then you got to ask yourself, am I willing to be these different things that they want? And I'm going to talk that in a moment. Like, I bore easily. When I tell you I'm the easiest person to make happy, per se, like I'm the easiest person to please, but I bore easily, very easily. Again, I'm an intellectual person. So if you're not stimulating my mind, then you're going to lose my attention. Yeah. And we're going to talk about some other stuff in a moment too. Not to get too involved in this, because I do have to respect some things, but yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. So I do want to talk about some things that you should not say to it. Well, first, let's go into finances. Let's go into that really quick. So I think this would apply to the Gemini male and female, because I'm thinking about me and my dad. So when it comes to money, Geminis are able to make money. They don't see money as an issue. Like, there's so many ways to make money, and they're able to see it clearly because they have so many talents. They have so many gifts. They have so many hobbies. Like, if something ain't working here, they can switch gears and they can make money another way. The downside is Gemini spend money. They spend money like crazy because they know it's too easy to get it back. So it's important for the Gemini to be with a very strong individual. And I'm talking more about relationships here. Now, I'm going to talk about two different examples. So let's say you are a single woman that's a Gemini, but you're dating this guy. You are probably handling everything because you got your money, you're able to pay your bills and things like that. So you're really not listening to this guy over there about telling you how to spend your money per se. So that's a different scenario than being married. I'm gonna give you single versus married. So you're probably not listening as much. But once you come together, let's say he's taking care of all the bills in the household. The Gemini woman, because she's a lifelong learner and she's inquisitive and she's curious and she's always trying to get that bag, she's just she doesn't know how to stop. Like, it's hard to keep up with Gemini. She just doesn't know how to stop. It takes a strong man to say, baby, yes, I'm paying all the bills in the house, but I need you to do a better job of saving your money. Like, put your money away. So if anything ever happens, you know, you got our back, you can jump in and so on. If that's your scenario where your husband is taking care of all the bills or the majority of the bills or whatever, if that's your scenario. So it's important because, again, I want to say this because I was watching some videos where it was talking about the Gemini wouldn't want to be a housewife. And that's not what it is. Again, remember, Geminis have that guard up. Right? It's all about trust and safety for them. So if you're having issues with your Gemini woman following your lead, it's 100% because they don't trust you and they don't see you as a person that can lead them. Like, again, the Gemini person doesn't want to bring their guard up and down like a garage door. They want to be able to not have to police it. They don't want to have to act like your mama. They want you to be able to take the lead. Like, don't ask me no questions. If you're going to take the lead, there's no reason to ask me anything. Like, take the lead. I want to be able to bring my guard completely down. I stay in my lane, you stay in your lane. I want to be able to say, hey, you handle this. Like my business partner, when I put on my shows, Eric, like he would handle the music and I would do all the marketing, all the promoting. I would do the flyer design. I would do everything that's in my space. I don't want to have to worry about the entertainers. I don't want to have to worry about meeting them to give them their money. I don't want to have to worry about the sound on the stage. I don't want to have to do that. Like when I'm in my lane, I'm in my lane. So when I choose to work with somebody, it's because I trust them and I know that I don't have to micromanage the process. And that's very important to me. That's very important to me. So when you are dealing with or have a Gemini woman in your life, or maybe even a Gemini male, maybe like this as well, the Gemini woman would love to be a housewife. She still want to be able to make her money and stack her money because one day you may fall. One day you may have a financial issue and she could write that check, right? So it's important to understand that they still want to do those things. And I don't know how else to explain it. It's just that they're never going to be in a position where if something was to go wrong, that they can't help you. That's pretty much it. They want to always have their own so that they can support the family need be. That's the best way I can put it. Okay. All right. So, so because there was just so much stuff out there about, it's this one fly that keeps flying by here. I don't know if y'all see it, but it's getting on my nerves. But anyway, there's some things that I'm going to tell y'all not to say to a Gemini because y'all be talking about Geminis get mad so easily. I'm going to tell you the things that make me mad. So if you're my friend or somebody deal with me, these are the things you need not do if you don't want to make me mad, okay? All right. So, also the first Gemini person, and see, I got ADHD. That's another thing we're going to talk about. I think I put in my notes somewhere. But Geminis, because they got all these different projects they're capable of handling, they appear to be inconsistent or all over the place or unfocused to other people who traditionally are only able to handle one thing at a time. Okay. So that first twin that you meet that I was talking about earlier, they're able to handle multiple things. But okay, so let me just go into the things not to say and then I'll touch on that a little more. All right. So never tell a Gemini to act their age. Never do that. I can tell you now, I am very immature, especially at the house. I cut a fool. I am a 2-year-old at heart. I love to have fun. Once you get close to me, I just love to have fun. I am like a fool around you. They'll be like, so when I be saying I'm an introvert, my friends are like, no, you're not. Introvert where? You'll hear that. Like people that are close to me be like, no, you're not no introvert. Or, my team or whatnot, they said that a million times. No, you're not an introvert, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so don't say that to a Gemini. Tell them to act their age. It's just who they are. They're young at heart is what keeps them youthful. They're very energetic. They like to have fun. They bore easily. So they like to be entertained. They're always going to keep you entertained because they're going to be paying attention to your wants and your needs to make sure that y'all stay on point. So never say to them, act your age. And never do that. If you don't like a very youthful person that has like to have a lot of fun, then you might not want to be with a Gemini because once y'all live together, they're going to cut a fool. Like they might be the one that's playing pranks on you. They might be the one slapping you on your butt when you're cooking. They might, they might be the ones that just be spontaneous and wake up and say, let's go out to eat. Like they just like to have fun. They might just start dancing while you watching the game. Like they just like to have fun. So don't say that to them. Okay, the other thing. Oh, don't tell them they talk too much. Like this, I know I talk too much. This is long-winded. But for the right person, it's okay. So if you are a person that, I want to say if you're a sapiosexual, or you're someone that very intellectual, that likes to listen, then you're going to enjoy a Gemini. They're not talking about surface level things. If you can get to the second tier of the twin, if you can meet the second twin, everything that they're talking about for the most part is about the future. They're talking about their goals, like, oh my God, my favorite thing to do is to brainstorm. Like, give me a notebook, some pen, paper. Let's sit down. Let's talk about business. Let's talk about what am I doing wrong? What I need to do better. Let's brainstorm. Let's figure out, okay, what's my weakness? Is it your strength? What's your weaknesses? Maybe I can help you. I'm all about, once I'm close to you, I'm all about doing that. I do not like doing that with people I don't know. I don't trust people to know my finances, my personal business, and things like that. People ask me all the time, where your money come from? Where you doing this? You got a lot of time on your hand, blah, blah. Don't worry about all that. Don't worry about none of that. But the people that need to know, that's in my personal space, they are aware of those things. But just, it's not something that I'm just going to broadcast to everybody because it's none of their business. Because believe it or not, when you talk too much, people try to use those things against you. And people have motives. Like they try to get to know you for the wrong reasons. Another thing, I don't want to get too sidetracked, when dealing with a Gemini woman is, she doesn't like to bloat. Is that how you say it? Gloat or bloat, boasting? She doesn't like to hear other people talking about them. And the reason for that is not because they don't believe that they are those things. It's because they don't like to lead with those things. I like people to get to know me for who I am. And then they will get to know everything else will be a bonus. So if you like me surface level without knowing what I can bring to you, then just imagine how much more powerful or how much more valuable I will be to you the more you get to know me. I don't want a person, trying to get to know me because XYZ told them that I do XYZ. Because I'm always going to assume that I know what it takes to bring my guard down. So if you were introduced to me for a certain reason or because someone shared certain things about me, I'm always going to see you as a red flag until you prove me different. So that's just how I think it may not be a good thing. Some people are more go with the flow type of thing. They don't care. But for me, my discernment is very important to me. And it's just how I treat people. I get to know people for who they are. I never ask how they make their money. What do they do? Once we make it to a certain level and we're talking more and I learn more about you, then I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure out how I can bring you value, but at the same time, how you can bring me value. That's what it's all about for me. It's not just sucking the life out of you, but also pouring life into you. That's how I see it. Okay, and that's how most Geminis are. But again, people are so used to people taking advantage of them that they really don't see that. But again, I'm not saying that's every Gemini. That's me and my daddy. That's what I'm saying. Okay. All righty. So don't tell them to act their age. Don't tell them they're talking too much. And don't tell them they can't focus. You will notice that, like I talked about earlier, so I ain't going to talk about it too much here, but Geminis are capable of handling a lot of things. They can't function without handling a lot of things. They like projects. Like people like, I was going to ask for your help, but blah, 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 blah. People make time for what they want to make time for. If I want to focus on this business today, I will do that. If I want to help you in this area, then I look at my calendar and I shift things around. I figure out how I can do it. So Gemini women, specifically myself, I'm not saying it's all Gemini women, but they are capable of handling multiple things. They get ticked off. And this happened to me recently. It's been happening to me quite a few times. I'm not going to share too many details scenario, but I'm tired of hearing a person say to me that you got too much. You got too much you're focusing on. That's how I thrive. I thrive in juggling different things. And I'm successful at juggling different things. So instead, do not try to bring everybody into your box, assuming that they can't handle it. Test them to see if they can handle it. Cultivate their skill sets. See how they can bring more value to it, because you never know, this person may can help you in more areas than one. So never tell them that they're not focused and they can't do X, Y, Z, unless you're credible, unless you can point out some things that proves that they aren't able to handle it. But other than that, let them be. Okay. Yeah, don't say stop being rude. I can tell you, I'm very sarcastic and I love to joke. So my dad taught me this thing called the 3-second rule, and my mom, raised me to be mindful of the tongue. And so I naturally, it may sound like I'm confused when I speak sometimes, like I'm actually doing it right now because I'm looking at myself and I can see myself doing it. But I try to gather my thoughts before I speak, and I wait about 3 seconds before it comes out, because once it's out there, you can't get it back, right? So if I get to the point where the sarcasm comes out and the jokes comes out, it's because I'm comfortable with you. That's all it is. It may come across as being rude, but if you know me as a person, you know that's not the case. So don't blurt out, don't be rude. Like, don't do that. Share with me how it made you feel. And I'm a person that always apologizes. Sometimes I apologize when apology wasn't even necessary. But yeah, communicate. Communication is so important to me. It's so important to that Gemini. So never feel like you need to hold back how you feel. I want to make another note real quick because I'm going to go ahead and say it now. Geminis, we talked about earlier about being adaptable. You can tell a Gemini anything. Now, the Gemini one, I can tell you right now, is emotionless. The first twin, the one you first meet, no emotions. Like, no emotions about business. They'll leave your life in 2.5 seconds. You make them mad, or they see any sign that you're going to be toxic or drama, because they love peace. Like, Geminis love peace. You are not coming into their space. They won't respond to a text or anything. So it's a thumbs up just popped up on my screen. I don't know where that came from. But that was weird. But yeah, so yeah, I lost my train of thought when I saw that. But yeah, so you can basically tell a Gemini anything. Like, if you want them to stop doing something, just tell them to stop doing it. Don't avoid them. Don't disrespect them, thinking that that's how you're going to get rid of them. Just say, like, listen, I feel this way, so I need you to stop doing this. I feel this way, so I need you out of my life. Like, what I tell you, Geminis are just, they will do that. So, but it's when you don't communicate that you have problems with Geminis, period. That's when you have problems with Geminis, when you don't communicate. Okay, this is too long, y'all. I just knew this was going to be 10 minutes, but this is long. Okay, so let me just skip some things. The last one, changing your mind. Tell them, stop changing your mind. Me per se, but Gemini's period, and I can say this about my dad too. We're project-oriented people. So we change our minds a lot. Like, if we're working on a project, and a project could be your spouse, the project could be your kids, the project could be work. When we're working on something, our minds may change because we're numbers driven. We pay attention to trends. We do things for a reason, not just to be doing it. So we already see so many steps ahead. So when we're working on something and it doesn't make sense, then we're going to pivot to change it up. So you may change your mind a couple times to get to that goal, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, so never tell me act my age. Don't tell me to shut up or I'm talking too much. Don't tell me I can't focus. Don't tell me I can't handle this. Don't tell me to stop being rude. And don't tell me to stop changing my mind. Those are the things that tick me off as a Gemini. So if you can relate to that, let me know in the comments. All right. So what else we got here? How do you know a Gemini is crushing on you? Okay. This is very important because Geminis come off as being flirtatious because they're social butterflies naturally. They got a very bubbly spirit. They're always smiling. You're never going to see them frown. If you see them frown and they truly do not like you, or they look annoyed, they don't like you. But 90% of the time, they're very bubbly and smiling, and because they believe in transferring energy. So they want you to feel happy in their presence. That's just how they are. So don't take that again as they're crushing on you like you. They do that with everybody. How you know a Gemini is truly crushing on you is the time that they give you. The first thing is they turn into shy people. Me, you just turn into a shy person. Let me just put it that way. So if you can relate to that, let me know in the comments and so on. But a Gemini is normally very bubbly. When they're around you, they get very shy and don't speak as much. It's only because they're trying to control certain things. Like, let's say, like I told you, Geminis are curious. Most Geminis their love language is personal touch and acts of service. I can tell you that off the rip. At least those are mine. So if they start liking you or crushing on you, when they're around you, they're going to be shy because they're trying to avoid touching you. They're trying to avoid doing things for you because they're naturally going to do that when they're crushing on you. So if you notice they're acting, so don't take the smiling in your face and being nice. They do that with everybody. But if they start acting bashful and shy around you and things like that, and turn into this little girl or little boy type of thing, then 9 times out of 10 they're crushing on you. If they're able to open up and share their personal business with you, not just surface level, but if they're really able to bring that guard down and talk to you about anything, then they trust you. They probably love you. 9 times out of 10, it'll probably transition to another phase. And so that's how you know, because they don't share anything. There's things that I have shared with my husband, I haven't even shared with my parents. Right? So you'll know once you break down that wall that you're getting closer to that level with them. You're like their partner in crime for anything. Like for me, it's like a homie, lover, friend. Like that's the best way I can explain it. That's what a Gemini traditionally, at least this one, is attracted to. Homie, lover, friend. Like, because I like to talk. Like I need to be able to put my hat on, my sweats on, go out there, have a good time with you, play basketball in the yard if I want to, go shoot some pool, go run. Like I want to be able to have that homie vibe with you. That friend, I want to be able to talk to you about anything. I want to be able to cry in your presence. I want to be able to pray with you. I want us to meditate together. I want us to do all those things. That's what I consider the friend side of it, without judgment. The friend is always also going to keep it real. They're going to share everything. They're going to tell you where you're going wrong and so on. It's like that. I don't know. I can't explain. And then the lover part, y'all, yeah. Let me skip that topic. The ADHD about them. Now it confuses me at times, but Gemini's all over the place because they do a lot. So if they're crushing on you, you'll notice that they will slow down doing other things and they'll move their focus to you. Geminis are givers. They're rarely takers. They love to give back. So once they're crushing on you, it's their goal now is to please you. It's just how they are. So they're going to notice that they get way more focused and now they're moving their energy towards you. And you'll feel it. Again, don't let the little cute smiles and things like that fool you. They're not feeling you. When a Gemini sister loves you, when a Gemini brother loves you, you're going to know it. They're going to be crushing hard and so on. And it's not easy to bring that guard down. So if you bring it down, you're doing good. Yeah. But that's the gist of how you can kind of know. And then I don't want to go on too much. Let me see if anything else I put on here. But a Gemini female, you'll notice have a lot of male friends. So you have to be very secure in that space. I can't even understand really why my background keeps changing for some reason. I don't know if it's something y'all gonna see once I download this recording, but yeah. Okay, so yeah, Gemini has a lot of male friends. My father raised me around guys, so I don't know if that's why. He told me he always wanted me to know he always wanted to raise me around guys so that I knew what to expect. I knew how to be treated. I didn't fall for things and stuff like, and it really helps. Like I don't want to go too in my business, but it helped me tremendously as I grew up. It's a lot of things that people my age did, younger, that I didn't get involved in. I didn't fall for and stuff like that. So it really helped me. That's the only reason why I could think I'm attracted to having a lot of male friends. People assume that you can't be friends with the opposite sex. I am. I'm not. I don't have to. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I have to just say it's because my dad raised me around guys. I didn't have female friends. I had one or two here and there, but not a lot. So this may not apply to other Gemini women. It may just be how I was raised. But yeah, I do have, quite a few male friends I've had over the years. And my husband knew them. I made that clear early on. He met all of them. They would come by the house and stuff like that. So again, I am big on communication. I know what my deal breakers are. I knew what friends I was willing to get rid of and so on, because you do got to pay attention to that as well. Yeah, the ones that are genuine friends and the one is just on standby. So, but anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. Let's see. Yeah. So I think that's about it. I just wanted to talk more about understanding the Gemini. I think I touched on everything. If y'all got any questions, let me know in the chat. I know this was kind of long, but what I really want you all to know is that Geminis are very intellectual, curious people that love hard. They're very good people. They're very nice people. Depending on the environment, obviously, and how they were raised and so on. They're very forgiving people. They don't forget, but they do forgive. They're not very vengeful people. They're not tit for tat people. They read the hearts and not so much the actions of the person. Because they are thinkers. Because I know I do it. I've been doing it recently. It's like people do things and like, okay, let me read their heart and not their actions. Because everybody aren't as great communicators as you are and won't just come out and say what it is that they're dealing with. So they'll just kind of block you type of thing. And so as a Gemini, at least one of my gifts is just reading people. Just, because the last thing you want to do is because of someone's action change how you see them as a person. So you just got to kind of read them type of thing. But yeah, I think that's the gist of it, you all. Yeah, so stop dogging Geminis. Every time I turn around, y'all dogging a Gemini. Just learn how to bring them into your life. They're great business people. They're great mothers. They're great supporters. They're great lovers. They're great everything. They're entertaining. They just got to be paired with the right person. That's all it is, because they do bore easily. So if you can't get them mentally, then you're not going to get them physically. That's pretty much how it goes. All right. Bye. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Bye-bye.